Hi, I'm Ernie.
And I'm Ben.
And this is Budget Nerds.
What was all in your mind?
You are not alone.
No, you are not. Friends, welcome back to another episode. A few episodes ago, we asked for your unique money goals for 2024 because we wanted to do an episode about those unique goals. And the reason we wanted to do an episode on this is a little bit ago, Ben and I, something came across in the YNAB Slack channel that really fired Ben up. And I said, Ben,
are you surprised I got fired up about
right?
something?
I said, Ben,
I feel like I'm like becoming more and more unhinged on Budget Nerds as we go. But I kind of
that's
love
okay.
It, so
and I said, all right, let's do a Budget Nerds episode about this. So, hopefully you kind of held in some of those thoughts in that thread so that you can just unleash them here on Budget Nerds for us. So first off, what is this segment that stirred something in you?
Okay, so we were on, YNAB was mentioned on CBS Morning.
Yes, CBS Morning
some
with
news
Jill
thing.
Schlesinger.
One of those. Thank you. I don't know about this stuff because I don't have TV, but yeah, one of those things. One of those news things. And it's cool when YNAB gets mentioned. So sometimes we talk about it, and I was kind of a party pooper in this thread because somebody posted, "Hey, we got a mention on CBS something," and I was like, "Oh, cool, that's neat." And then I I kind of came in and was like, "Okay, this is cool and all, but there was just." I guess they did a survey, and okay, maybe it was just a bad survey.
I'm sure it was,
but. Yeah, and it was one of those classic surveys that news people do, where they're like, "What do you want to do?" It's like it's a January New Year's thing, and they're like, "What are your financial resolutions?" Right? And it says 41% wanted to save more, 38% wanted to pay down debt, and 30% wanted to spend less. And it's just so lame. Like, those are your big financial goals. You want to save more money and spend less money. It's just like, it just made me want to spit it out of my mouth. You know what I mean? It's just so
and
gross.
They are very cliche,
yeah.
right? We hear those same goals every single new year. And not that they're horrible, right? I think at the heart of them, there's something really good there, especially the pay down debt.
I'm not mad at somebody who's like, I want to pay down debt or I want to save more. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, I think it just shows, even the people that made this survey, I think it just shows a mindset around money that everybody has that's just so sad. Like, it's just such a chore. It's such a bummer. It's such a just thing that you have to manage, and nobody really wants to because nobody's excited about it. And I'm just like, let's talk about some actual financial goals so you can actually get excited, because spending less money is not a financial goal. It just isn't. It's just like, oh, I guess I gotta spend less money because I'm such a bad person. And it just makes me, I feel like I'm talking to Eeyore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, oh, looks like it's going to rain today. Oh, something bad's going to happen. And I'm just like, guys, come on. We could do better here. We could have more fun with money, because actually it's an opportunity. It's an exciting thing. It's a way to express yourself in the world. And spending less and saving more is just so tired. So let's get more interesting.
We've been on this kick lately, company-wide, of money's this opportunity. Right? Money is an extension of yourself. And so it's the way you kind of make yourself known in the world. And I don't know, it unlocks a whole bunch of imagination for folks. And the YNAB community is fantastic around this idea of just unique, interesting, specific financial goals. So we wanted to wrap them all up, bring them into this and hear from them.
Yeah, yeah. And I do want to say, if your goal is to pay down debt, that's fine. That's exciting.
I have
that's great.
nothing bad to say about that. That is a fantastic goal. And it was my financial goal.
But
it was
why,
my
though?
financial goal for a number of years. But yeah, getting at that why, I
Right.
think is really, really important.
That's what it is. All three of these: save more. Okay. If your goal is to save more or spend less, like, no, you need a better goal. Like, come on,
Yeah.
But like, here's what it is. These aren't goals. They're means to a goal. Like, you pay down debt. Why? You want to save more. Why? You want to spend less so you can save more. Why? You know what I mean? Like, they're just nothing burgers. What's actually behind it? And then you'll actually be motivated to do these things. So that's what we're getting after here. And I think it's something that we need to talk about more in the whole world, because so often the beginning of the year, everybody's just like, oh, I want to save more money because I've been bad. No, you want to save more money so you can buy something cool. That's what we're after. Money's meant to be spent, guys. Anyways, sorry, I'm about to go off. So,
well you can. I mean, take the stage and just go off if you want. I think the other reason it's worth talking about these is the boring ones, the save more, the spend less, they don't actually result in any changes. I mean, it's really easy to say something like that, but then a couple days pass and you've completely forgotten about it, and you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh, I didn't save more. I didn't spend less.
Yeah, and then you just feel guilty and beat
It's
yourself up.
a horrible cycle.
But it's not. It's a horrible cycle because you didn't have a reason to spend less. Like, if anything that takes effort, anything that takes sacrifice needs to have a reward, or you're not going to do it. And the reward needs to be better than like, oh, I guess my grandma will be more proud of me because of how I spent money. Like, no, it needs to be internal, So, yeah, that's what we're getting after. So we know YNABers have great goals, and we thought we'd pick some of the most interesting ones and talk about them. So that's what we're doing here.
All right, so a number of you reached out to us. You either emailed us or you left a comment in that YouTube episode. So as of Monday morning, March 11th, we're going to share everything that we've received.
I'm glad you said that because, in Budget Nerds time, this episode's coming out like many weeks later, but we're actually only a week after that episode release where we asked you for stuff. So if you send us more, we're excited to see them, but they're not going to make the episode.
But we will read them. And for many of the emails, we'll respond as well. Anyways, let's get in.
Yes, Ernie will respond.
Let's get into those unique
I might respond
financial goals. So mine, the first one comes from Alex in California. You have asked for unusual savings goals, and I definitely have one. I have been working at my current workplace for 3 years. Pretty quickly on, I realized this is not a great fit for me. It's a dead-end position. The administration is unwilling to discuss a raise, increase benefits or hours, and after talking to a lawyer, it is clear they are participating in wage theft and violating my labor rights.
Oh,
so
yikes.
Not a good situation.
It was funny because I was really resonating with Alex like in a previous job until that last part. And I was like, oh, I didn't experience that. Yeah. Although maybe if I talk to a lawyer, that maybe they tell me they were. I don't know. But yeah, I totally get that.
As a result, I am saving up to leave this job. We are using YNAB to get our spending under control. We are figuring out our bare bones budget, tackling our debt, and saving up to create my parachute.
I have like chills. I love it. It's so good. This is exactly what we're talking about. You use your money to express yourself in the world. In this job, Alex's potential is not being used, not being able to come to fruition. He's being cheated clearly too. There's like illegal things happening. And he's just being beaten down. And so he's using his money. Actually, I say he. I don't know if it's a he or a she. They're using their money to get into a place where they can express themselves in the world better, right? So that's just awesome. That's exactly what
this is incredible, right? Because I've not the labor rights portion of this, never experienced anything like that, but just that feeling of being in a dead end position, but feeling stuck. Like there's nothing you can do. And I just love that something went off that said, oh, there is something that I can do. I can use my money to change this situation. Super inspiring.
Really inspiring. All right, I have one from Jenna. And I think Jenna wrote an email as well. Jenna said, which leads me to my unique money goal. So we've truncated some of these because the emails get a little long, but we read them. So Jenna says, which leads me to my unique money goal for this year, which is to be settled enough to be able to assign this money to something, to be in a place where we can think 1 to 5 years into the future and not just 1 week at a time. Though YNAB has helped me survive 1 week at a time life, so I'm grateful for that. My money goal is to find a new home and spend more money. Oh, I'm just giddy thinking about it. Yes, I love this.
This was a fantastic email. If I remember correctly, well, the episode we asked for these wins on, or these savings goals, was the giving a job to every single dollar. And Jenna has a whole bunch of money parked in these income holding categories. Like, we're talking wedding money from 7 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Where you're like, oh, I have to spend this money a certain way because it was given to me a certain way, and you don't know how to spend it.
Exactly. And it sounds like life has just been a little, not unsettling, but there's just been a lot of change going on. And so there hasn't been an opportunity to figure out what that money needs to do. But it sounds like Jenna's closing in on that and is really, really excited about giving actual jobs to those dollars.
Oh, man, you know what I love about this? You know, Jenna's been, you said 7 years, right? She's been hanging on to some of this money, not giving it a job. And it didn't excite her to save the money, right? She saved it for 7 years. That was not exciting to her. What was exciting to her is when she started thinking about how she was going to spend it, because money is meant to be spent. I'm going to say that over and over again. It's just true. And that is where she's like, oh, I could express myself. I can make things happen in my life. Once she went from just saving it for the sake of saving it to actually giving it a job and spending it. And yeah, I just feel like Jenna's been unlocked. It's so great. Like, that's what it is. Like, her heart in the world, like, has been unlocked. Like, her, like literally, she's not literally, figuratively, she's been like in a prison, and she's like opening the cage and walking out because she's able to actually express a part of herself that was not expressed.
Yes.
Literally, the money that she had from her wedding was not being expressed, and now it is. So a part of her is being expressed.
And this expression, it's going to be so thoughtful, so intentional, right? It's going to bring so much joy. So Jenna, you're going to have to follow up and let us know what you actually do with that money when that time comes.
Yeah, especially that wedding money. I'm really curious.
I know that. I mean, man, 7 years. Like, I
know. And I can totally get how that happens, where it's just like, oh, this is special money because it was given to me as part of my wedding, and I got to spend it in a special way. And it like you never figure out what that is. And so it just sits there, and it's like, I don't think your wedding guests would want that for you. You know, they want you to enjoy it. So, or like use it to build your future. So I love to see that.
All right. The next unique goal comes from Rebecca R. Rebecca emailed a whole bunch of goals for the year, and this is the one that stuck out to me. After having let my husband solely handle our finances for almost our whole 17-year marriage, I embarked on my own personal finance journey in 2023 and have started to take an active role in our finances. YNAB plays a huge role in my journey, and it's helping meet both my goals and my husband's goals. I think we make a good pair, with me probably wanting to spend more and him wanting to save more. But with me being a new disciple of both YNAB and Ramit Sethi, I think we are successfully able to meet both of our goals. I think with both of these approaches, we feel more comfortable seeing that we can save and also spend guilt-free.
I love it. Yeah, it's just, I feel like that happens a lot where you get two people together who are more, one's a little more cautious and others a little more spendy, and it's a good pairing.
Yeah, and the approaches don't have to be the same. Sometimes it's almost framed like it's bad that one is a spender, one is a saver. I mean,
totally.
But it doesn't matter. What matters is the goals. Do you have a shared financial goal or shared financial goals with your partner? And as long as you do, how you actually get there doesn't matter. So that's fantastic that, Rebecca, you're on the same page now with your husband. You're pointing towards that same goal. I love it.
And I love that, you said your husband handled the finances for 17 years and you're embarking on your own personal finance journey and have brought new life into your relationship. And like we brought Rebecca into the expression of the money, and that's the way it should be. It should be both of you. And we have more Rebecca in the world, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
As a result. You know what I mean? So I love to see it. All right. I have Ticondy. That's just a username handle. So hopefully I said that right. But yeah, this is on YouTube comment. Wrote in and said, my unusual financial goal is actually a health goal. Nice. I've always been discipled around money. Or discipled. Let me try that again. I've always been disciplined around money, but needed a way to stay motivated and disciplined with health goals. Oh, I feel you. Because I'm such a budget nerd and love playing around in YNAB, I decided to tie my health goals to budgeting. Each month, I assign a certain amount of my reward fund category. If I achieve my health goal, which means exercising for 30 minutes, I get $2. I move money from the reward fund into one of my fun spending categories. If I don't achieve my goal, then I move the leftover money from my reward fund to my charitable giving category. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that it still has a job. Moving the money at the end of each day has created a routine that helped me better track and stay accountable to my health goals. And even if I don't make my health goals, I don't feel too bad because the money goes to a good cause. It also allows me to prioritize my health goals. Goals that are more important to me equal more money. Love this. Yeah, actually, Ben M did a video on this, like rewarding yourself for good behavior, like any kind of habit that you're trying to build. Literally giving yourself money, like from a certain category and moving it into a fun money category. I don't think he mentioned just giving it away if you didn't use it all, though. So that's kind of an interesting way to handle it. But this is great. You're using your money as a way to, express yourself better in the world because you're improving your health and incentivizing yourself to improve your health. So
there's so much Atomic Habits from James Clear in this comment. I love it. It's combining your habit, your goal with something you already love, YNAB. There's that reward aspect and there's that accountability when it goes to the charitable giving category. So just a lot of things in place to make sure that this really neat, unique financial goal actually happens.
Yeah. It's so much better than just spend less money, right? That's what we're talking about here.
All right. My savings goal, here's another YouTube comment, comes from Elizabeth. To create and add to an endowment fund aimed towards helping low-income people attend college. The specific goal amount hasn't been set yet. I'm just getting started out. But I know it will be tens of thousands of dollars, and every dollar I can put towards it now adds up over time.
Wow.
That's super cool.
So
That's
cool.
something I haven't heard of before. Create an endowment fund.
Yeah. And that's like a lifelong pursuit kind of thing. That's what it sounds like. If you need a lot of money to build because I can imagine this could even outlive Elizabeth, if you save for that and you
Absolutely.
have, that's what endowment is for, right? So that's really cool because it's money that creates money that you then give away. Love that. See, so much better than spend less. Right? This is what we need to go after because it's motivating and we're actually going to achieve goals instead of just spending less. All right. Another YouTube comment from, I'm going to say Sheri. Sheri. We'll just go with that. My unique goal is full-time RV life traveling the country. I love it. Before actual retirement age. We did it successfully for 3.5 years, but then had to replace our truck. We knew it was coming, but enjoyed traveling while we could. Now we're settled back down for a few years to replenish the coffers before we head out again. Love it.
So again, more YNABers just unlocking the imagination, dreaming. What do you want to do with your money?
Yeah. And I love this little bit here too, where they said they want to do this before actual retirement age. I could get the sense that you're a little bit older, but like a lot of people would put this off until after they're done working, and and that's good if that's you, but like do it now while you have more energy and you can, so love to see that.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, we all kind of fall into that mindset sometimes of life has to be boring right now, and I have to save up with this pile of money that I'm probably not even going to spend because I'm going to die before I get to zero. And, where's the fun in that?
Yeah. It's true. Like, I think a lot of times sometimes it's fear too. It's just like afraid of losing or running out of money or something like that. And even if it's not even a rational fear, it's just can really hamstring you and make it so you can't actually do anything until you're older and you don't have the energy to do it anyway, So yeah, I'm glad you're going for it now. That's awesome.
Another YouTube savings goal from Labs23. Our kind of non-unique goal / unique strategy is to pay off our low interest 15-year mortgage a couple years early before I turn 50 without sacrificing retirement savings. So here we have a pay off debt, but it's very specific, and it's, without sacrificing the retirement savings. So it's like 2 goals in one. We agreed it didn't make much sense to do extra payments now with our cash earning 2 times the mortgage interest rate. So I created a category group for mortgage payoff with several individual month categories with targets for funding by that month. The unique part is we're only funding that group with cashback rewards and checking / savings interest. After doing this for a couple of years, we have around 3 payments total saved, and it's eliminated any questions about where we budget these smaller monthly incomes. We're well on target to pay it off by 50. That's so cool. Fantastic. I love a good old fashioned get out of debt goal.
Yeah.
And I love how specific Labs 23 is getting with this particular one, and the interesting way to funding that particular goal as well. Just using the cashback rewards and then the checking savings interest.
I love you said you love a good old fashioned pay off debt. I like a good old fashioned like arbitrary deadline.
Yeah.
Like we got to do it before we're 50. Like I did that. I was like, I want to do it before I'm 35. But I did that because Jesse said he wants to pay off his mortgage before he was 30, like back in the day. Right. And so it's just like, yeah, just pick a date. And like, and when I did it, literally for like 4 years, I had a category for it and it just didn't get any money because I had other priorities. Right. But if you just make those little goals in your mind, it'll come back, So I kind of love that. And I love this one too, because it's like, they're not like killing themselves trying to make this happen. They're not even having to make a huge sacrifice other than what they're getting in interest and rewards and stuff.
Absolutely. So and still hitting those retirement savings goals as well.
It is kind of nice too that those things like automatically have a job. Like they said, they eliminated having to make any decisions about that because they made the decision and they're going to stick with it. So that's kind of cool too. All right, moving on. From Laura, also on YouTube comment, said, my friend and I were supposed to study abroad in Barcelona together fall 2020. Oh, that's so sad. Okay. All right. Let's just mourn with Laura for a second. Unfortunately, 2020 happened, and basically the whole concept of abroad was canceled. Yes, that's true. Going out of your house was canceled. But in fall 2025, we are reclaiming Barcelona. Yes, there was exclamation points, so I clapped. And we are not going to skimp on a single thing. Since she's in grad school, I'm going to be doing the vast majority of the funding for this. And I've set a big goal, 20% of my annual income in an admittedly low-paying, fresh out of school job, but still, for the most extravagant vacation of our lives. COVID took a lot from us, but we will make it to Barcelona.
Oh man.
Like, it's instead of just like wallowing in the pain, because like I was at the beginning of reading this comment, I was like, oh, they're like, no, we're not gonna let it stop us, we're gonna do it. And this is another like age thing, you know. I get the sense that Laura's pretty young because they're just out of school, and yeah, like this is one of those things that you could put off until you're in your 60s. You know, you could totally do that, but you're just going for it, and you're making a big sacrifice. 20% of your annual income going after this, and you're actually joyful for it. You know, because again, you're expressing yourself in the world, and that's what spending money is.
And I love that this trip is even going to be bigger than it would have been back in 2020.
Yeah, study abroad's like cool and all, but it's like, you know, it sounds like you're broke. You know, so you can't do as many cool things maybe.
I want to say something else about this goal, because, you know, you mentioned the Laura probably being young, and I think a lot of times the wisdom is, you know, you pay off your debt right away and you start saving for retirement, and, you know, you be that responsible adult, right? And all those things, they need to happen, right? That's very good. Mm-hmm. But I think the mindset is, well, life is going to suck until that happens, right? Until I pay off my debt, or until I get a whole bunch of savings built up. But no, you can almost have your cake and eat it too, right? You can do those things while also enjoying the journey. I think we're realizing that more and more as a society, right? It just doesn't have to be rice and beans for a little bit of time or for a super long time.
Yeah. You know, I feel like I've done this sometimes too, not just with like not having money because you're young and starting in your career, but also having young kids. Yeah. You know, where I'm just like, oh, we can't do anything because you have a 1-year-old, which is like fair. Like there are a lot of things that you can't do. But this is not Barcelona, but I am going to Ohio in a few weeks to see the eclipse. Okay, because if you don't know, on April 8th, I don't know when this episode's coming out. Is it going to be after the eclipse?
I don't even
know. It probably is. Maybe. Well, anyways, we're
April 3rd. April 3rd.
March 11th. Okay, all right. So there's an eclipse happening. If you don't know, if you live in North America, you can see an eclipse. I think everywhere in North America can see partial eclipse, but there's like a little bit of land, little stretch of land where you can see the total eclipse. So I really want to see it because the next one isn't until 2025. The next one, no, 2045. The next one in North America. Anyways, blah, blah. So, yeah, I really wanted to make this happen, but we have a 2-year-old and 3 other kids, and it's just like really hard, you know, like just finding the money for it, but also, you know, making this logistics. But, you know, it's just one of those things like, I don't want to put something like this off. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, so like whether it's limited resources because you have limited energy because you have young kids, or limited money or limited time, try to make sacrifices to make it happen, you know, because you can never go back. And I don't think I'll be, you know, sitting on my deathbed and be like, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't see that eclipse because it would have been hard to handle a 2-year-old. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are things that are really worth it.
All right, here's another one from YouTube from, let's see, IHeartSnape or iHeartSnape.
Yeah, I think that's a Harry Potter thing.
Okay. This may or may not count as unique. I'm going to say right now, it does count, since it technically falls under the boring saving up to buy something category. But I play the violin as a hobby. And nice. I've already read this. This is definitely not boring. And it's my dream to one day get my forever violin. an upgrade to my current one, which I got when I was 13 years old. As far as musical instruments go, a good acoustic violin can get quite expensive, and I'm aiming to spend about $10,000 on my eventual purchase. And hopefully this will cover the violin, a new violin bow, a quality violin case, and tax. It might be a lot of money for an instrument, but it really isn't. But it's also a lofty enough financial goal that will take some time to save for, since any extra money usually go towards other life expenses first. That is like a fantastic, non-boring, super specific goal.
I know, right?
I love it.
And you've had this old violin since you were 13. So you're like, yes, you've proven to yourself, yes, this is a hobby that is important to me. And you're going to express yourself in the world by spending a lot of money on a beautiful instrument. And I think that's a great thing. And yeah, and I know $10,000 is a lot of money, but it also, if it's not for something like that, I know they can be really expensive. So that's super cool. And you're just expressing who you are.
Absolutely. And saving up to, I mean, that's a lot of money to save up. And so there's going to be a lot of no's that you're going to say to certain things. And if the goal was just, I want to save money or I want to spend less, like saying no becomes really difficult. And it's frustrating. Like, why am I saying no again? But with this specific, like super meaningful goal, saying no is almost a joy, right? I want that violin. I will definitely say no to, X, Y, and Z over here.
Exactly. It actually gives a reason. And just saying like, oh, I have to be more responsible. A negative reason like that is not going to work. It's just going to cause you to really resent yourself, resent your own choices, and also resent people that might be putting that on you. A lot of negativity comes from that. So I think going after something exciting, it's really what you need to do. Something that excites you. All right. I have the Wilderness Project on YouTube wrote in a comment, to have my money reflect what I value. For example, I value spending time with my kids and grandkids, not eating out. So I put more money into family vacations so I can take my family on weekends away to spend time together and not on DoorDash. I love that. They're like, I want to spend time, but not in this specific way, because it's like the default, I guess, right? So you want to do something more interesting, and so I love that you kind of have a goal for yourself, like a limits for yourself, because you might default to the just going out to eat a lot. So.
And those experiences outside are going to be so much more memorable than some rando showing up at your door dropping food off.
Yeah, and this is the thing where somebody might be like, oh man, I spend too much money on DoorDash. Like, I just got to stop it because I got to be more responsible. And it's like, no, here's an actual reason, and the end result's the same. You're going to spend less money on DoorDash, right? But the reason why you're doing it is going to make it actually joyful instead of drudgery, So, love that.
From Emily over on YouTube, one of our savings goals right now is a stay ready fund. If luck is preparation meeting opportunity, we want to be prepared for opportunities like the interest rates in 2020 or another once in a lifetime opportunity that might pop up and require some liquidity, right? So here we're talking about options. I want to have options for when something happens, I can strike. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. I mean, it's not a specific goal, but it's like, I know there's something on the horizon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I want to, strike when the iron's hot. Is that the phrase?
Yeah. Like when the economic conditions, because, we live in this world. So yeah, that's super neat.
I was just going to say, like, I resonate with this one. Like, there's some things that Christy and I would love to do if the opportunity presents itself. And I have a category called options, and I'm cool. Slowly funding that. But really, if something were to hit today, I don't think we could move on it.
Right.
And I have thought about, like, man, do we just really need to go hard after this and like just put as much money as we possibly can, even start cutting some expenses out so we can fund it even more so that if it does happen, we're ready to go. I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. It's like a future thing to use if it comes up. Because that's true. Money is options, and that's why one reason why I think YNABers are able to take more risks because you have more cash, because of all the rules are just about that, So it's very exciting. Love to see that. All right, moving on to Amber, who has a short one. Wrote it on YouTube and said, my unusual financial goal is year off in my 30s from work and bus built out. Okay. All right. So they're working on a bus that I guess they're going to live in the bus and travel around. And also they're working and they just want to take a year off.
Fantastic.
Just do something different. I have some friends who did this to go like hike the Appalachian Trail, right? That takes like 6 months out in the wilderness. You go live in the wilderness for 6 months. They're crazy. And you know what I mean? And you just take a year off and do something cool, I love to see that.
And that's going to be a year that you remember the rest of your life. Like I can't remember what I did in any of my 30s, really.
It's all a blur.
Pretty boring.
Love to see it.
All right, final one. Yarnstead over on YouTube. Unusual financial goal, saving to go to Star Wars Celebration in 2026.
Nothing like a good Star Wars conference. What can we say?
Love it. So again, we have
I don't know what this is. What is Google this?
I'm not a Star Wars person here.
I mean, I like Star Wars. Star Wars is cool. Is it Japan? Oh, it's in Japan in 2025, apparently.
Okay.
But
where's 2026?
Yeah, what's 2026? I don't know. All I see is Star. Maybe they meant 2025. Hopefully they know they have less time. if that's what it is.
Adjust that target.
But there's a thing in Japan apparently in Star Wars 25. Not a lot of information. Oh, learn more. Here we go. Star Wars Disney. The entire page is in Japanese. I don't read Japanese. So.
Google Translate.
Oh, actually, there it is. Google Translate. It's decided that Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025 will be. Okay. Anyways, this looks really cool. I don't know what this is exactly, but it looks like a super cool conference where you get together with a bunch of nerds. And what could be more fun? I can't think of anything. Maybe except for maybe like a YNAB conference. I don't know.
Ooh,
that's the only thing I can think that would be more fun. So,
that's fantastic. Again, it's a savings goal. I want to save more money, but very specific and very exciting as well. So, absolutely love that.
All right. Well, this has been fun. If you guys have any more interesting, unique financial goals, send them our way. If we get a lot, maybe we could do another episode at some point. But just work on better goals than spend less money. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
Why are you spending less?
Why? That's the thing. Like when you're focusing on the why, the size of the financial goal doesn't matter. I mean, it could be to pay off that mortgage a few years early. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands, or it can be a small financial goal of like, I want to have enough money to buy a donut at the end of the week. The size of the goal doesn't matter.
Yeah. And sometimes the goal is a means to an end. Like if you're trying to pay off debt, that's a great goal too. Ask yourself why. Like, why do you want that cash flow back in your life? What would it mean for you? Like just cast a whole vision of what the world would look like, what your world would look like without that debt. Just like keep asking yourself why. Be like a little kid who just keeps asking yourself why over and over again, and you'll get to the core of it. And that's what we want. All right. Well, I think that's it for now. Should we do some YNAB wins? We've read everybody's comments. Should we just read some more?
Let's keep doing it. Yeah, we'll share 2 more wins.
All right.
All in your mind.
All right, I have a win from Mike, who wrote in, said, "Hey BNE." Ooh, we got initials. BNE. Here's my YNAB win. When I started using YNAB a couple of years ago, I saw the ability to link accounts. However, I was very reluctant to link accounts due to all the news about breaches and such. Fair enough. Eventually, the hand entry method wore me out, and I decided to link one account and see how it goes. Wow, the link feature makes the budgeting process so much more efficient. Now I really look forward to the YNAB message that tells me I have transactions to review. Makes it kind of fun in a nerdy way. Love it.
I totally get it, Mike.
We totally get it. Like it's almost like you look at YNAB and there's no new transactions and you're kind of disappointed, you know. it's like I want to do something, you know. So I love to see that.
And then you like hover over that little check mark to see when the bank last connected.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, is it about ready to refresh? Should I just hang on for a few minutes here?
And then I end up going and opening my bank and entering pending transactions anyway because I can't wait for it. So
yeah, I end up going to my bank and downloading a file, doing file-based import.
Just gotta be right away. Come on.
Oh man, we're so.
But if you're using
so
Apple
nerdy.
Card now, we're a week after the Apple Card thing. I don't know if y'all knew, but you can connect your Apple Card and apparently it imports instantaneously. And I'm like, I've never had a credit card, but now I'm thinking about it because that sounds pretty neat.
Well, I would have to get an Apple Card and I would have to upgrade to a new phone because I don't have iOS 17.4.
Oh, right. Well, there's a good financial goal for you, Ernie. You can make that happen.
All right, my win comes from Nina. Nina emailed back a long time ago, Ernie and Ben, just because it was mentioned on the last podcast. Nina, I appreciate that. That was the episode where, I don't know, I probably made a stink about everyone putting Ben's name first.
Oh.
And
it just flows. It flows.
It does flow.
It's not about who's better. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just the regular flow.
And it's alphabetized. That's generally how I list names. I get it.
That's true. That's fair.
But, sometimes it's nice seeing and hearing your name first.
Let us go ahead and put Ernie's name first. I'll make that sacrifice just to make him feel better.
It's been great. There's been 5 people that emailed in and said Ernie and Ben, like wink,
that's
wink.
That's
and
was
I'm
really listening because I don't even remember that. That was so long ago.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, back to Nina. I am not sure if this is a win or just funny. I've been using YNAB, probably both. I've been using YNAB since 2021. I use a credit card that gives me a credit back to that card monthly based on what I buy. I assumed this credit went to ready to assign when I select the category inflow ready to assign category. I was very wrong. I have learned that these funds only go to ready to assign category if there's a positive balance on the credit card when the credit is issued. If there is a balance on the card, it goes to the credit card payments for that card. Result, my credit card payments budget had more than $1,600 above the current balance on the credit cards combined. It took more than 18 months for me to catch on. Yikes! I love it when an error falls in my favor. I moved this found money to my income replacement and car replacement budgets. Thanks for the continued insight, and I look forward to every podcast. Love that, Nina. And I say love that because it worked out so well in your favor. So, yeah, credit card rewards.
I appreciate you not be mad at us for the software leading you astray a little bit there because it wasn't intuitive. But,
right, because you get that credit from the credit card company, you categorize as ready to assign, and it only impacts the account balance. It has no impact on ready to assign and no impact on the credit card payment category. Mm-hmm. And so Nina just ended up with this excess amount in her credit card payment category. Yeah. And then realized it was like, whoa, that's a ton of money. I mean, 18 months there.
It lowers the debt on the card. And then as a separate action, you need to go and move the money from the payment category if you want to.
Yeah.
And that's but hey, I mean, it's kind of like it's like finding $20 in the back pocket of your jeans, you know, but it's
a whole bunch of $20 bills.
Right. That's so good. I love that.
Well, that's fantastic. And now this win is going to keep on giving because you know that every single month, Nina, once that credit comes through, is going into the credit card payment category and then moving that little bit of excess where they want. So
I don't know. Maybe you should just willfully forget that again, Nina, for another 18 months and then and then have a big chunk of change all at once. Because I'd rather have like $1,600 all at once than like $80 every so often. Actually, no, I'd rather have $80 every so often. Yeah.
I look forward to that credit every single month. So I don't know if I could take that away.
Yeah, that actually does sound pretty fun.
Yeah.
maybe if I got one of these Apple cards and betrayed my no credit card life, then,
and let's be honest here, Ben, you're not going to do that, right?
I'm not going to do that. I don't do things, make changes like that. Come on.
All right, friends.
It's working.
Thanks for sharing your wins. Thanks for sharing your goals. If you want to keep sharing those with us, please do so in the comments of the video. Otherwise, you can email us, budgetnerds@ynab.com.
All right. Thanks, everybody.